Hello, I'm Howard Schechter, and this video will be showing how I sharpen kitchen knives. And I do it differently than most people. And the reason for that is because I can't seem to use their methods and get an edge sharp. So I call it the shadow method, and it's a lot easier than using the angle method, which a lot of people are proponents of. So the angle for a kitchen knife like this, or a butcher knife, something like that, that a lot of people like is 15 degrees. And 15 degrees on a thin blade is very, very good for cutting up whatever you might run into in the kitchen. Now, how do you tell 15 degrees? All right, so this is a measuring tool from the Starrett company, and it's a precision tool which will get it exactly at 15 degrees. So this angle right here is the angle that I'm looking for. And you may decide on a different angle, but I do suggest try 15 and see how it goes with you and your customers. So once you get this in your head, you'll always have it, and it's easy to find that angle on a blade. So what I do is I use a DMT extra coarse to set the bevel and get out any chips or any bends in the blade. With DMTs, we use soapy water. Now, this is no magic compound. It's just either some extra shampoo I have that I poured in there at the bottom of a bottle, or dishwasher soap. It doesn't really matter. And then this is just like one of those ketchup bottles from you would see in the supermarket for sale. So I squirt that onto the DMT, and because I have good light from above, what I do is I put the blade down and bring it up to 15 degrees. Now, I know that's 15 degrees because I've been doing this for years, and I've got that angle in my muscle memory and in my head. So if you look at the shadow that's cast by the light, you can see right here the width of the shadow. And the idea is to keep that width the same using the shadow as your guide. So why do we do it like this? What they usually tell you is hold the knife at 90 degrees, put it at 45 degrees, take it down to 22 and a half, and sharpen it at that angle. Now, I don't know about you, but one of the things that I find very difficult is to keep a piece of steel at 22 and a half degrees while it's moving. So that's why I developed the shadow method. What I have to do is lift up in order to maintain the angle. Notice I'm holding my fingers at the back of the blade. I see people doing this, and so you're holding it here, you're holding it here, and what it does is it bends the blade, and you'll find you'll get grooves here. That's bad. Don't do that. So I go for the same width shadow. And down, keep the blade moving. Tilt it up. You can actually hear it. And that's why there's no music in my shop. I listen to the blade and listen to the stone. All right, let's take a look at it with the Carlson microbright. See what we got here. Okay, that's it. Now, it's always interesting to me that people say, oh, it just takes so long to sharpen with stones. I just put it on the belt grinder and grind them. Well, that can be very quickly and easily remove the heat treat at the very thin edge of the blade, because it gets above 400 degrees. You can't even feel it with your fingers. And what happens is it takes the temper out of the steel. So exactly where you need it to be sharp, it'll stay dull because untempered steel won't hold an edge. Okay, so let's just take a look and see how we're doing here. Well, it's pretty good. It didn't tear the paper. I don't have like feathery edges. So we know we're on the right path. And then all I do is I'll switch to a coarse blade, a coarse stone. This is DMT. Now this happens to be one of the holy stones, or as opposed to the continuous stones. Usually I just use these, but I happen to have this one, and so I'm just using this. So now what we're doing is we're refining that bevel with a coarse stone, 325. This one was 120 grit. This is 325 grit. And look for the width of the shadow. You can hear the difference. Okay. The width of the shadow. You can see how easy it is. All you're judging is the width of a black line, which is what the shadow is. You don't have to worry about 22.5 degrees or 15 degrees or whatever. Take a look at it and see what we've got. Oh yeah, very nice. Very nice. The scratches under the microscope made by the 120 grit as opposed to the 325 grit. The 325 grit scratches are much finer.